All right.
So either have the legs long or have the knees bent. Just take this time to settle. Just take some time to drop into the back of the body. And to begin to feel the body. And I came across a little piece written by another yoga teacher called Chuck Miller. And he says, so we are stopping. Acknowledging how much we have overcome, adjusted, and adapted. And now we're reconnecting to ourselves, our bodies, our minds, and our breath. So as you drop into the back of the body, notice any gripping, any areas that might feel tight. And equally, notice the spaces that feel expansive and free. Maybe start to become aware of subtle sensations in the body. So all of that thinking that's gone on, now take this opportunity to feel without judgment. And then begin to notice the breath. And feel how the presence of your breath brings an alertness and a focus to your mind. And as we deepen the breath, begin to create some fluidity in the body. And just bringing some space in between the thoughts and some space where we notice any resistance. And as the breath deepens, it lengthens. And as it lengthens, it softens. And then bringing your hands onto your belly. And feeling the breath here. This allows us this sense of feeling centered. Any busyness that may have been in the head now begins to move down into the body. And we settle back into that soft and empty space of the belly. And the breath becomes smooth and steady. And the mind becomes smooth and steady. So keeping that connection to the breath as much as we can during the practice. And with that in mind, we'll start with some simple breath and movement practices. So if the legs are long now, bend the knees and place the feet on the ground and release the arms down beside you. And very simply, as you inhale, raise both arms up in front of the chest and pause them there. As you exhale, take them out to the side to shoulder level. As you inhale, return them back to the center. Pause, palms facing. And then as you exhale, return them back to where they began, all the way back down beside you. Back down beside the body. And just continue with that. In your own time, inhale, pause. And think about the pauses. And maybe consider the Ujjayi control. But envelop the movement with the breath. And just notice the subtle sensations of the breath and the movement. So there's a sense of being embodied. The mind, the body, breath working as one. One more round in this way. Work into the fingers, open the chest. And pause with the arms down beside you. And the next time that you raise the arms up in front of the chest, interlace the fingers, turn the palms away from you, extend the heels of the hands up towards the ceiling. Notice how it feels. And then gently take both arms all the way back overhead and slowly extend one leg long and then the opposite leg long. And point the toes towards you and away from you. And begin to open up the physical body. Again, noticing any areas that might feel tight. Equally noticing that spaciousness, that openness. And then when you return the arms back down beside you, again bend the knees and place the feet on the mat. And turn the palms uppermost so that there's that sense of being receptive, being open now. And again, we're working with the belly with some pelvic tilts. So as we breathe in, we take the breath into the belly. And as we breathe out, the navel draws back towards the spine and the tailbone naturally lifts. Inhale into the belly, back of the waist rises. So tilting the pelvis, exhale, navel draws back towards the spine. And there's that rolling through the lower back. You may choose to include the Mula Bandha here. So at the end of the out breath, you lock the breath out by drawing up through the pelvic floor. Pause the breath out. Release the bandha, inhale to breathe in. Back of the waist rises. So there's that locking of the breath out as if you're releasing and locking out any stale energy that may have built up in the belly. Let's take one more round in this way. So we begin to wake the belly up. We begin to start to get some movement in the belly. And then return the breath back into the belly so that we get the movement of the diaphragm. And then we'll do a little bit of work on the neck as well as the belly by stepping the feet forward just a little way, about a foot's distance forward. So the feet are flat. Clasp the hands either behind the back of the head or to the side of the head if your tendency is to drag the neck. Inhale into the belly, and as you exhale, draw the navel towards the spine. Raise the head and the chest with the chin coming in towards the chest, and then inhale to release. So again, exhale, navel draws towards the spine. Again, you can use the Mula Bandha. Inhale to release. Once more in this way. Exhale. And inhale to release. Release the hands, step the feet back towards you. Slowly allow the head to roll from side to side to ease out any tightness in the neck. So with the back of the neck slightly longer now, keep the chin gently drawn in towards you and open the mouth nice and wide. And then breathe out through the mouth. So it's a real sighing. Yeah. Inhale, open the mouth nice and wide. One more time, inhale. And just pause there. Stay with the breath. Maybe the mind is a little bit more focused now. And then bring the right knee in towards you. Hold the right knee. Bring the left knee into meeting, into Upanasana. And just pause here. In Upanasana, soften the arms, the shoulders. Encourage the thighs in towards the belly. And maybe just inviting that sense of release in the lower back. That sense of opening in the lower back. Feeling it. And then gently holding just the right knee, slowly extend the left leg up as if you were planting the foot on the ceiling. And just have a sense of that leg emerging from the belly. And encourage the heel to be a little bit higher than the toes. And then begin to circle that ankle. Notice how it feels. And the other way. So creating a little bit of space in the joint of the ankle. And then pause. Inhale, and as you exhale, lower the leg all the way down, encouraging that heel away from the body. When the inhalation arrives, raise the leg up. And again, that exhalation, extending the heel. So we're lengthening through the back of the left leg. One more round in this way. When you next raise the leg up, bring that knee towards you. Return to Uttanasana. And just gently roll from side to side, keeping the knees and the thighs in towards the belly. And then when you're ready, holding the left leg and allow that right leg to emerge from the belly. And the heel a little bit higher than the toes. And then that circular motion through the right ankle. And then the other way. And then pause, inhale, exhale to lower the leg down. And inhale to raise. Deep inhale, the inhalation is our strength. The exhalation, that release. One more round in this way. And returning into Uttanasana, bring both knees in towards the chest. Pause there. And then place the hands on the knees with the fingers pointing towards the feet. And begin to separate them and circle them apart to open up the hips. Just notice how the hips feel, how they respond. And the other way. Next, bring the knees in towards you, separate the knees, and take the arms through the centre and just hold the lower legs or the legs wherever that's comfortable. So the weight of the arms begin to encourage that opening of the hips. Back of the waist drops down, shoulders are soft here. And just a sense that as we soften the breath, we get that lengthening and that opening. And then take the hands to the outside of the knees, bring them back and towards you. And just very gradually take the arms back overhead and again extend the legs up, both legs at the same time now, and encourage the heels to be higher than the toes. And then back into Uttanasana on an out breath. So we inhale, all of those four limbs now emerging from the belly, and then we exhale. Next time that you take the arms back, keep the arms back in contact with the ground, keep the legs raised, and just encourage the heels to be a little bit higher than the toes, and encourage the little toes towards you. So the tendency is to tilt the feet, back of the waist drops down. Notice the contact where the arms are in contact with the ground. One more breath here, deep inhale. Deep exhale, and then return back into Uttanasana. and hug the knees. And just pause there in Uttanasana. A sense of softening. And in the spinal twist, place the feet on the mat. Take the arms out to shoulder level. Palms can be up or they can be down. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, knees to one side, head opposite direction. Inhale, center. And to the opposite side. And again, we may notice that the more that we're able to lengthen the breath, the more that the knees are encouraged to drop down towards the ground. Again, as if we were twisting out any old energy that may have built up in the belly. All of the stuff that may have accumulated during these times, we're breathing it out, we're squeezing it out. No rushing or striving, just feeling. One more round in this way. And when you come back into the center, separate the feet, return the arms back down beside you, and just pause there. Return the breath back into that soft space of the belly. So this is our energy center, the belly. So as we breathe into it, we're creating energy, creating fire in the belly. And then a very gentle bridge, but we'll do it in kind of segments. So we plant the feet down. And as we press into the feet, we just simply lift just the buttocks up, just a little way. Notice how it feels. And then as you roll the lower spine back down, have that sense of release and length through the lower back. As we're coming up into the bridge, some segments, noticing how it feels, noticing how the spine responds. Allowing for that release as we return the spine down. And again, these backward bends that bring energy into the body. A sense of opening. And then we're going to include the arms, that version of the bridge where we take the arms up and back as we come up into the bridge. And we lift the hips and the heart. And as we come down, we hug the head and the knees together, inviting that length through the out-breath. So the hands and the feet begin in contact with the mat. And pause at the end of the inhale to develop that backward bend, and then that long, slow release. As if you're reaching the lower lobes of the lungs. You're feeling it. You're being guided by the intuition of the body. If we take time to really listen, there's an intuitiveness to the movement. And this slowing down and this lengthening allows the length through the muscles, through the bones. And let's take one more round together in this way. And when you have completed that round, just pause with the knees into the chest. And return the feet back down onto the mat. And again, just settle into the back body. Allow the breath to settle back into the belly. Notice any areas that still might be tight. Maybe noticing a little bit more freedom now. Maybe a bit more expansiveness. And then when we come up, either rolling up or rolling over onto your side to come up. And we've been working, some of us may have experienced, we've been working in a different way to cultivate the boat posture. And we've been considering this weaving of the belly, this lower weaving of the belly. So we're not tightening, but we're just weaving the muscles here. So if we take the hands behind with the fingers pointing forward and we lift and open the chest, and we get that sense of rooting through the sitting bones. And come up onto the heels of the feet and just begin to walk them towards you and feel what happens in that lower belly. So the collarbones are nice and wide. And then relax the feet and bring one foot up. Again, noticing the lower belly. And then lower. And then the other side. So if you can feel the knitting of the muscles. Okay. And then bring the hands forward. And we come into that easy low boat where both feet come up. And the hands come a little way up. Not too high, but just a little way up. And again, have that sense of weaving the muscles into the lower belly. Good. Let's take one more breath here. And then drop the feet, drape the arms over the legs. Hold one wrist with one hand and allow that opening now through the back of the body. This invitation to open up and create space between the shoulder blades. Now the head's kind of heavy as it hangs to create some space in the back of the neck. So we're beginning to work with the quality of the breath, beginning to improve the quality of the breath. It says that when we improve the quality of the breath, we begin to improve the quality, the nature of our lives. And then from here, swing the legs round and come into Vajrasana, sitting back on your heels. And you may choose to have some props here, maybe some blocks or your blankets if that feels uncomfortable. And have the hands on the thighs with the palms facing uppermost. This encourages the shoulder blades in towards the spine. And the gaze is forward. And there's a sense of dropping down into that. And then bring the right hand down and bring the left arm up and just gaze up towards the fingers of the left hand. So we open up the side body if that feels okay. And if not, just come up into high kneeling if the knees complain on the other side. Once more in this way. And again, this quality of opening up through the side body. And then when you come back, just tuck the toes under and take the weight back a little way, the toes tucked under. And then again, that opening, looking up, just twice each side, reaching up. And then from here, bring the hands forward, uncurl the toes, and just tap the fronts of the feet down onto the mat. And then send the knees nice and wide, take the hips back and allow the arms to be nice and long, and bring the forehead down. And again, modify that if you need to. And take the right arm under the left arm, so the right ear comes down. So it's an upper body twist, and come up onto the fingers of the left hand. So the right ear's down, fingers of the left hand, back of the right hand pressing into the ground. Left elbow lifts, so we get that working between the shoulder blades. And then the other side, bring the hand back towards you. Use the hand. Very gradual process. Lifting the elbow. The ear comes down, working into the neck. Pressing into the back hand. One more breath in. And then return. Come back onto all fours, onto your tabletop. Bring the knees underneath the hips. And then bring the right palm, have it facing into the centre line. Take the weight forward. And then we turn the palm away. So again, we've got that opening down the right side. That circular movement forward. And we're noticing how the left wrist responds, the left fingers respond. And the gaze is at the fingers. One more round on this side. And then the opposite side. Pause, first of all, root down through the hand. And up and back. So we're opening up through the left side, hips back to the heel. One more round in this way. And then again, when you back onto your tabletop position, let's take some cat movement. Spread the fingers, wrists underneath the shoulders. Inhale, drop the belly. Cow posture, as if the udders of the belly were dropping down. You get that lovely curve in the upper back. And then exhale, chin in towards the chest. Again, opening up the back body. You just begin to have a sense of the lengthening through the front and the back of the body as you work with the cow, cat posture. One more round in this way. And again, when you've completed, just take the hips back towards the heels, take the weight off the hands, send the knees nice and wide, bring the forehead down. And just massage over the forehead to wake up the sinuses. just take some breaths here. Just allow the breath to be steady and smooth. And then coming back onto your tabletop position and have the gaze slightly forward. Take the right leg back and tuck the toes under and begin to encourage that opening up at the back of the right knee. And again, use the breath. So as the breath softens, the muscles begin to lengthen as you breathe out. And then we're going to open up that right side of the body by just allowing the right leg to come behind the left leg. Keep the foot in contact with the mat. Pressing into the left hand and raising the right arm up. And looking up to the fingers of the right hand. And the more that you press into the left hand, the more you get that quality of opening through the front body. Good. And then lower the hand down. Return the right leg. Left leg back. Tuck the toes. Gently encourage that opening at the back of the knee. So we collect a lot of the lymphatic fluid at the back of the knee. So we're always looking to use the breath to open up the nerves, open up those areas that become clogged up. And then from here, slide the left leg behind the right. Press into the right hand. Slowly allow that left arm up. And again, just that feeling, that sense of opening up. Maybe the arm moves back behind the body. There's always further to go. But you're just going to a place that feels okay for you. And you're noticing, no judgment, just a sense of openness. And then return that hand back down. Back into your tabletop. And as you tuck the toes under, just gently bring the knees a little way up from the ground. So begin to work into the upper body. And then take the hips back towards the heels. So the knees come a little higher and just gaze between the hands. Then breathing out. So the knees are hovering above the ground and then gently into a downward dog. First of our downward dog. Just hang out in your downward dog. Okay. And soften the right knee and lengthen through the left side of the leg. Left leg, and then soften through the left knee. Open through the right, back of the right leg. So again, working into the backs of the knees. And just once more, in this way, keep pressing into the hands. So the head nestles between the arms. Good. And then drop down onto your knees, hips to heels. Take the weight off the hands. And just pause here. And then from here, creep the fingers forward. Inhale slowly and just allow the upper body to come forward and the weight to come a little way forward over the wrists. And then exhale, hips to heels. And we're going to repeat that, but this time when we take the hips to the heels, we tuck the toes under, so toes tucked under. Hips go back to heels. Feet flat. Inhale forward. Exhale. All the way back, hips to heels. Inhale. Tuck the toes. Exhale, hips to heels. So once with the toes tucked under, and then with the toes flat. And if you're taking that further, you might choose to bring the body all the way forward. And as you go back, once with the toes tucked under. And then with the toes facing the ground. So there's a little bit of coordination that goes on here. One more round in this way. And this time when the hips go back towards the heels, take the weight off the hands and just pause there. And then come into a squat. Bring the hands towards you. Take the knees nice and wide. Come up into a squat. If that's okay, or come up into high kneeling if that doesn't feel okay. Again, keep the left arm inside the left knee. Bring the right hand up, gaze up to the fingers of the right hand. Other side, bring the right hand down. And now left arm up. And then bring the hands down, both hands down, gaze is slightly forward. If you feel steady here, just lower the heels a little way and bring the hands to the heart. Gaze is forward, breaths in the belly to anchor you. Soft gaze. And then gently lower the heels to come up to stand. And release the hands. So stand in Tadasana. Root down through your feet. Take just a moment to connect with the ground. Return the breath back into the belly. Again, notice any gripping, any tightness through the muscles. And as we lengthen and soften the breath, we begin to lengthen and soften the muscles. And again, we're pulling the mind back into focus here. Good, so have the feet a little wider, just so that you're nice and comfortable, not too far. So one of the reasons why we do the postures the way that we do is to open up the nerves. So we open up the nerves of the body, we send energy into those areas, and then we create that fluidity, that vitality through the body. And if the nerves are tight, then that's blocked. So the energy's not moving fluidly through. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay. So we start with the hands. We just shake the hands out. And we hold a lot of friction in the fingers and the hands. So just have a sense, and you can move from side to side if you want to. You don't have to stay static on your feet. And then take the heels of the hands away from you, as if you're opening up the heels of the hands. And then take the wrists away from you, as if you're opening up into the wrists. Good. And then release. And then bring the arms up and hold the right wrist with the left hand and begin to press into the right foot and bring the arms over to the left side. So again, we've got a lovely sense of opening through the left side of the body. And the more that we press into that, into the foot, into the right foot, the more opening we've got. And then the opposite direction. And it's just gently, as if we're encouraging the arm up and over. Okay, keep breathing out. The more of the out breath we have, the more length and space we create. Good. And then return the arms back down beside you. And bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Squeeze them together. Breathe out through the mouth. And again, inhale. One more time, inhale. Good. A little bit of work on the shoulders, so take the arms, cactus arms. Sometimes we call it square arms, but I quite like cactus arms. So just take some time to root down into the feet and to lengthen and open the upper body. As if the collarbones are nice and wide and there's a sense that the shoulder blades are coming together, but soften into it. So the tendency when we're working this way is to tighten, and what we're looking to do is to keep that fluidity through the body. So there's a softening. And we do this by grounding, working into the feet, staying with the breath. So we're not using the head. Then we inhale, and as we exhale, we bring the elbows towards each other. Keep them lifted and inhale to open. And exhale. Feel what's happening. Next time that you keep the arms nice and wide, keep the elbows where they are. And as best as you can, just drop the hands down, but without tightening the neck or the shoulders. So as if the elbows are now moving away from you and the hands are very, very loose. And the upper arms are moving upwards. Good. Take one more breath here. And then release. And just pause in Tadasana. So from the ground upwards, flank stretch, Parsvottanasana. Bring the right foot forward, left foot back, turn the back foot out slightly. Interlace the hands at the bottom of the back so we get that sense of lengthening and opening through the front. You can soften that front knee if you need to as we come forward. So we inhale, lengthen through the body. Exhale, give to that left leg, left foot as we bring the body forward. Inhale, give to the front foot to come up. So we're using the ground to develop that forward bend. Exhale. And these forward bends offer that invitation to release, to let go. One more time in this way. And this time when you come forward, soften the front knee and raise the arms up to a place that feels okay. And this allows the weight of the arms raising up, allows the body to come a little bit closer towards that thigh. And then release the hands either side of that foot. Creep the fingers forward. Extend through that right leg. Raise the left leg up a little way. And step the feet together. Soften the knees. Inhale, arms bring you up, all the way up. Slowly up, looking forward as you come up. And exhale, hands return to the heart. Pause here. Return the breath to the belly. And then the right leg back. And the left foot forward. Interlace the hands at the bottom of the back. If that doesn't feel right, just place the hands on the hips. But line up the hips. Inhale, lengthen, open through the front. Exhale, forward bend. Press into the back foot. Inhale, press into the front foot, come up. Pause. Keep the chin drawn in so the back of the neck is long. This time when we bring the body forward, soften the front knee, bring the belly onto the thigh. Inhale, raise the arms up. And then lower the hands. Walk the hands forward. Just slowly allow that back leg to float up. Step the feet together. Forward bend, soft knees. Inhale, arms bring you all the way up. And exhale, hands return to the heart. And drop the head down towards the hands. Tune into the breath. So as the breath becomes steady, the mind too, we may notice, becomes more steady. And then our standing vinyasa. And again, the breath envelops the movement. So when the inhalation begins, raise the arms up. Pause. Exhale. Halfway. Give to the feet, press into the feet. Mind, body, breath work in this one. Next time that you bring the hands to the heart, pause there. And then lunge with the left leg. Left leg emerges back, looking forward. Again, as you drop the buttocks, lift, open the collarbones, and that little bit of motion backwards and forwards, back leg floats up. Step the feet, line up the hands and the feet, forward bend, soft knees, inhale all the way up. And exhale. Right side. A bit of motion when you're ready. Forward bend, soft knees, inhale, all the way up. And turn, hands to the heart. Left leg back and with a variation, so we do it slowly and do it together. And then from here, drop that left knee down, release the toes so the toes are facing the ground. Inhale, come up onto that front knee, looking forward. Drop the tailbone down as if there was a weight on the tailbone. And then come into cactus arms. And just encourage the hips forward. Okay. Keep the elbows lifted and open. Keep the face soft, keep the jaw relaxed. Breath is in the belly. And then bring the hands either side of the front foot, tuck the back toes under, turn the back foot out 45 degrees, flat back foot, come up all the way into Cactus Virabhadrasana 1. Front knee bent, strong back leg, and then allow the arms to raise up. Warrior 1. Again, notice any gripping or tightness. Soften into it, stay with the breath. Bring the hands to the heart. Bring the back foot to meet the front foot. And stand. Again, feel that vitality, that spark life moving through you. Maybe begin to strengthen now. Right side. Right leg down. Looking forward. Keep opening the collarbones, keep softening the back knee, dropping the hips, and then gradually release the back knee down, unfurl the toes, come up onto that left knee, place the hands on the left knee. This allows the spine to be nice and upright. And then from here into your cactus arms and drop the hips forward. Right into the belly, out from the belly. And then bring the hands down either side of that front foot, tuck the back toes under, turn the back foot out slightly, inhale up. Again, return to your cactus arms so the chest is lifted and open. Balance out the hips facing forward. Raise the arms up. Warrior 1. And then just allow that right arm to come down in front of you. Right arm. And come into Warrior 2. So the back foot turns out slightly into Warrior 2. So modify through the feet, gaze to the front hand, nail of the middle finger of the front hand. And from here, the back hand goes onto the back leg. The front palm turns uppermost, sometimes called peaceful warrior. The front hand comes up and you gaze at the crease of the elbow, into the crease of the elbow. And then lower. Swivel the feet to the front. And then the other side. So Warrior 2. Raise the arms. Soft gaze. Dropping the shoulder blades down the back body. Again, notice any tightness from the ground upwards. Reaching, extending into the fingers. Creating strength and energy. Peaceful warrior, front palm turns up. Back hand down. And then from here, release that front arm. Take the hands to the hips, to the back of the hips, the buttocks. Swivel both the feet forward. And just slide the hands down the legs, the backs of the legs. And come into that wide angle forward bend. And just hang here. So anything that you're carrying in the shoulders, in the neck, just allow everything to be loose and free. And again, at the end of the out breath, navel draws back towards the spine. Soften the right knee, take it towards the right foot to create some length through the back of the left leg. Use both hands in the center to support you. And then over to the other side. And for some of us this is going to be enough, but if you're taking it further, when you next take the right knee over to the right foot, drop the buttocks down and lift the left foot up so you get that length through the back of the left leg. If that feels too strong, then just work in that gentle way. And then the other side. Move the hands over. Toes come up with the opposite foot. Okay. And then return to the center. And just hang out in the center. Creep the fingers forward as if you're coming into a wide leg downward dog. The head between the arms. And then walk the hands back towards you. Frame the front foot, so bring both hands to the front foot, lift the heels, swivel the feet to the front of your mat, again returning to that plank stretch. From here into downward dog. Hang out in your downward dog. Again, the more that you press into the hands, the more the hips rise up, the head very relaxed, the neck very relaxed. From here into your plank, nice strong plank. So we're working the whole of the body in the plank, heels moving to the wall behind you. Again, weave that lower belly in, and then slowly soften the elbows to come onto your fronts. And turn the head to one side. Have the arms down beside you. All of the toenails facing the mat. Prepare for your Sphinx, so swing the right arm forward, left arm forward into your Sphinx, hands nice and wide here. As you breathe out, the crown of the head just gently encouraged up towards the ceiling. Again, the collarbones nice and wide, and there's a sense of just dropping into the lower body and a little bit of length through the belly. Notice if the heels flop out, just bring them in line with the feet. And then from here, we're going to turn a gradual turn to gaze over the right shoulder. So from the tailbone, begin that process, that gradual process, drawing on the forearms as you turn to work into the lower back, as if the forearms are moving towards you. And each out-breath allows you deeper into that rotation. And then slowly unfurling back into the center. And then the other way. Feeling that lower back, keep breathing out to create that softening in the lower back. And this time when you center, pause in the center and just gently flex the right foot and bring that right heel towards the buttock, but notice how it feels. And then lower. Other side. And lower. And repeat that, or if you feel that you're happy to bring both heels in towards the buttocks, if the lower back allows, draw on the forearms as the heels come in and the collarbones become nice and wide. And there's that invitation of the head to move backwards as the feet come to meet the head. And again, that sense of length through the belly. take one more breath here. And then as you lower the legs, come into crocodile, where we place one palm down, opposite hand on top of that lower hand, elbows come forward. Drop the head down onto the hands. And in the crocodile posture, we then invite the breath back into the belly. And then from here into child pose. So bring the shoulders, hands underneath the shoulders. Again, press into the hands. Forehead down. Modify if you need to. And sometimes placing something underneath the head can be helpful. Especially if there's tightness in the lower back. As if you're resting the whole of your life. And then when you come up to sit for your pranayama practice. Have everything you need for your relaxation, so maybe socks or a blanket. So nice upright spine. And just close the eyes down and tune into the breath. This is our life force. And we'll just do a few rounds of Kapalabhati where we take that passive inhale and that slightly more forceful exhale. And we'll just do 20 rounds of Kapalabhati, and then we'll take a nice slow inhale. We'll do 2 rounds of 20 in this practice, and then we'll move into Navashodhana. So passive inhale. Deep inhale, hold the breath in. Lock the breath in to energize chin to chest, even the Mula Bandha if you choose. And then when you need to breathe out, when it feels right, slow out breath. If it feels okay to do so, second round of 20, very gentle in this practice. A little bit movement of the diaphragm. And then Navashodhana with no count today. Closing the right nostril, inhaling up through the left. Closing the left with your ring finger, breathing out through the right. Totally absorbed in the breath. You may choose to include the Ujjayi control, the ocean breath. So it creates that inner sound, the Ujjayi control. Something to anchor the mind on. Take one more round in this way. When you've completed, release your hand. And slowly lie down. So Nadishodhana allows us to move into a more meditative state and invites a deeper sense of release. As we surrender the body in Shavasana. Again, notice any gripping or tightness. Feel safe and comfortable as you allow everything to soften. And as you breathe out, relax the toes, the ankles, and calves. As you settle into the back body, allow the thighs to release, hips to relax. Just noticing that soft and empty space of the belly. as you breathe. And during these times, there's been a part of us that's been holding on. And now we allow the beginning of that release. As you relax and release the shoulders. Relax the arms, fingers, and thumbs. And just soften around the eyes, mouth. Into the whole of the body, mentally, physically, relax. Embodying the power of rest. And then begin to start to slowly return back into this room. Maybe wriggling fingers and toes. And very gradually roll onto one side, very slowly, onto one side, and place a hand under the cheek, underneath the underlying cheek. So the top arm comes over and underneath the underlying cheek, and just pause there. And then when you're ready, coming up to sit nice and slowly. Stay.